meeting is being recorded. Hey everyone, welcome to our team call. I am so excited for this. Congratulations on week 2 of our push. If you are in here, it means that you have made a decision to go all in, and that by the end of this 4 weeks, you are going to be a diamond or a 1-star, 2-star, maybe it's a controlled account. But I'm super excited for tonight's speaker. We didn't actually plan a ton of speakers for this because we feel like you don't need more training, right? But maybe you need a strategy to execute. And Morgan and I were talking about exchanging calls, and I thought, you know what, this is going to be perfect for our Diamond Dash group. And these ladies are going to be able to jump on and take action with the things that she shares with us. And I have been actually creeping on her page and following her for a little bit because we're connected through the roundtable, which once you become 5-star and above, you get added into that. It's one of the perks of it. You get to mix and mingle and rub elbows with the tippity top coaches, our VPs, all of those. And I just love her vibe. I think she knows exactly who she's looking for and who she's talking to. And that is what has made her be successful in this business. And like most of us, she's a mama too, right? She's not someone who just has all the time in the world to build this business. She's a wife, she's a mama. She's been coaching for 3.5 years. And I want you to listen to some of the stats that I'm going to share. Not because I want you to be like, glamorizing where she's been, but because she's a mama, she's a wife, and she came in and she made a decision in this business, right? She's a 9-star diamond. She's a 2-time elite coach, 1-time premier, 40 months in Success Club, and Homegirl's also a success starter. That means since she got started in this business, she made a decision to go all in and she hasn't stopped, right? I'm sure that it hasn't been just complete to the top because no business is like that, but I'm really, really, really excited for you guys to listen to her tonight. Please ask questions in the chat. If we have time at the end, we will get to those, or I'll shoot them to her and she can answer. But this is for you guys. Soak it all in. And without further ado, Morgan Butler.
Hi, everybody. Well, thank you so much for having me and such a sweet introduction. I'm so excited to be here speaking with you guys as you guys are pushing your businesses to the next level. This year is seriously the year to level up. And so I'm so proud of all of you guys for just making that choice to go all in at the beginning of the year, because what you do today and now is going to set your year up for so much success. So I'm pumped to be talking to you guys about how I show up on social media to be recruiting and attracting business builders. And we will also be talking about Reels as well, because Reels is a huge part of social media now. And so it's just important that as you are growing, that you're making Reels a priority. So I'm going to share my screen.
TikTok, like a business
Melissa,
platform.
will you mute everybody and then make me a host? Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah. All right. So how I show up on social media to recruit business builders, the Reels edition. So my name is Morgan Butler. Like she said, I have had so much joy found here as a coach. And it's funny when you look at my story, that's not how it started. And so I always like to share my story just to see, how there's so many coaches finding success coming from so many different backgrounds. So my story starts about 4 years ago. I was working in the corporate world. I was working for a Fortune 500 company. I was just a few years graduated college and absolutely thriving in my corporate career. I was the woman that truly thought I was going to climb the corporate ladder. I loved what I got to do. I thrived in my job. I was good at what I did, and my company was giving me a promising career. I thought that I was going to stay at this company for 30 plus years and just work my way up this ladder and one day end up as the female CEO of that Fortune 500 company. And I knew that was what my life was going to look like. I just had it all painted out. And that's what I wanted, was to be that successful corporate woman who was rocking mom life, rocking corporate life, and everything in between. And my husband and I decided that it was time to try for a baby. And so we got pregnant. And of course, I was excited to tell my job, like, hey, I'm pregnant, but don't worry, I am coming back, because you guys know this job is my everything. And I'm going to take my maternity leave, and I'm just going to be right back. So all throughout my pregnancy, I was, just letting my company know I'm coming back. This is my life. I love working. This baby is just like a little bump in the road, is kind of how I saw it. And if you guys are moms, which it sounds like a lot of you guys are, your life just drastically changes when you have a baby. And all of those big goals and dreams that you thought your life was going to go, you just kind of question everything, right? Like, what do I want my life to look like? How do I want to be a mom? And when I was pregnant, and specifically once I was on my maternity leave and I held my precious little baby in my arms, I just knew that this role of being a mom was so much better than all of the hopes and dreams that I had of being a corporate woman. And so my boss called me on the last day of my paternity leave, and I freaked out, because I'm like, oh my God, all this time I've been telling my job I'm coming back, but like, I'm not coming back. I don't know what I'm going to say. So I actually ignored his call because I just freaked out and I didn't know what to do. And so I like kind of gathered my emotions, and I was like, okay, I'm going to call him back. I'm going to break the news that I am leaving my job. So I called him back. I let him know. And of course he was like, oh man, are you sure that's what you want to do? And I'm like, yeah, this baby is just too sweet to leave. And so in that moment, I quit my job, and I didn't know what the future was going to look like. My husband at the time was making maybe $52,000 a year. And so we were going from being a six-figure household income with us both making a salary around that amount to now cutting that in half. And, it was a tough decision to make for me to leave my job, but we knew that it felt like the right choice for us, for me to be home. And so we just decided we were going to pinch pennies and we were going to make it work. We were going to take things out of our lifestyle that didn't fit with, the way our income was flowing. And that's what we did. We lived just very minimally, didn't splurge, didn't do anything special, just really cut everything pretty much. I mean, if you guys are a family, you know what that's like, living off of one salary. It's hard. And so here I am, a new mom, walked away from a career that I absolutely loved. And if you're a mom, it's easy to fall into those postpartum blues. And so here I was, like 2 months postpartum, just really, really, really struggling. Questioning if leaving my career was the right choice for me, questioning if me being home with my baby was what I wanted, questioning myself. I was about 45 pounds overweight and just feeling so uncomfortable with myself, to the point where like I was turning off the lights every night before putting my pajamas on, because I was just so ashamed of my husband seeing my postpartum body, which makes me so sad to think about those thoughts that I had. And just really at rock bottom. I was the first out of my friends to have babies, because I had a baby kind of young. I was 24. And I just felt so alone. I felt so alone in my day-to-day. I felt so alone in this new body of mine. I felt so alone in just being a mom, because I was the only one doing it. I didn't have anyone else in my life living this life. So I was suffering through this depression by myself. And so I was following this random girl on social media who was like posting workouts, and she had a baby around the same time as me. And I was like, I don't even know what this girl's doing, but she looks happy and she looks like she has something I need. And so I reached out to her. Of course, it was Beachbody, but at that point, I didn't even care what it was. I just wanted what she had. It wasn't the workouts that made me reach out to her. It wasn't the shake that made me reach out to her. It wasn't that she was showing up for herself that made me reach out to her. It was the fact that she looked happy, and I knew that I was at rock bottom. And so I signed up like a little bit nervous. I was like, I don't even know if I can stick to these workouts. Like fitness is not my jam. I'm not an athlete. Working out is like not my thing. I failed at every gym membership I've ever had. But if what this is going to make me happy like you, then maybe I need it. And so I got started with 80 Day Obsession. She had signed me up as a discount coach. I didn't really even know what that was, but I was like, sure, I'll take a discount. We're like so broke right now that anything helps. So if that means I get supplements for a discount, I'll take it. And within 2 weeks of starting 80 Day Obsession, I saw myself just change so much. I was about 5 months postpartum, and I just saw myself like waking up excited to work out and waking up excited to get plugged into a virtual gym and see other humans on a screen and not feel like I was just home alone by myself. And so I reached back out to my coach and I was like, whatever this is, I want to run this business. And a little bit of a backstory that I didn't mention is that when I left my job, it would look like, I didn't know if it would be with a network marketing company. I sat down with women from Rodan and Fields. I sat down with women from Young Living. I thought about maybe pursuing something from the ground up. And so when I started my journey and I found out I could make money doing it, I was like, game over. I was 2 weeks into my journey. I was a discount coach. And I said, listen, coach, I am running full force with this because this is a business that I could see myself falling in love with. And so here I am 3.5 years later, completely changed my life. I just owe so much to Beachbody through the way that it's just given me again. And that was something that in that rock bottom stage of my life, I just prayed so hard, like, God, I just want to feel like I'm not lost, like I have purpose and that I have fulfillment. And because of this opportunity, that's truly what I've been given back. So I love talking about this topic just because growing my team has been one of the best things that I've done, just because I was looking for community. I did feel lonely and I wanted other women. And so if you have ever said to yourself, I can't find any coaches who want to run the business with me, I get it because I've been there. How many of us have said this before? You can raise your hand. I know I've said this so many times. I've said to myself, but I'm showing up. I'm doing the things. Why can't I recruit working coaches? Well, it's simply because it's easy to show up as a challenger and it's not easy to show up as a coach. It's easy to post your workouts. It's easy to share your healthy meals. It's easy to talk about the accountability group, but coaching is not easy. And why is coaching not easy? Because of two things, because of fear and because it's uncomfortable. And so today I'm sharing with you guys my 7 best tips on how I attract business builders through my social media, including my Reels strategy. So the first thing is you just need to get over your fears of sharing this business. You guys, this business will seriously change your life in a fierce and intense way, but only if you let it. If you forever sit in that fear of what is so-and-so going to think of me, this business will never flourish into something so beautiful that you see other women in this business finding. Because at the end of the day, like, who really cares what people think? Isn't bringing your family to financial freedom so much more important than some person's opinion that you probably don't even do life with? Being fearless and sharing this business is what it's going to take to really level up your business and take it to the next level. Because here's the thing, all top coaches talk about the business side of things every single day. They don't just post their workouts. They don't just post their meals. They're not just posting their accountability group. Next is I want to challenge you guys to be bold in how you post. So this is a little bit of my posting schedule for me personally and how I show up on social media. Life vision, I think, is so important to talk about. Like, what do you want your life to look like? What is your ideal 24 hours? Where do you want to live? How do you want to live? Sharing this is so important for attracting business builders, because when you can dream big, you're giving other people permission to also dream big. And if they see you dreaming big and sharing what your ideal life looks like and how you're working towards that, they're going to be like, wait, hold on. This girl is working towards building her dream house through this Beachbody thing, through this workout thing that she's always posting about. They're going to start having those thoughts and be like, okay, maybe this is the vehicle I need to also start pursuing my dreams. Another thing that I post about is my team vision. So not just my life vision, but what is my team vision? What do I want my team to look like in a year from now? What are the big goals that my team is going to be crushing together? This is another important thing to share on social media, because you want to give people a glimpse of what they're going to get if they decide to join you. Are they going to be joining a team of women who are so passionate about building income from home? Are they joining a team that's so passionate about helping women get to the top 1% of the company within the first 3 months? Are they joining a team of women who are part of a top 10 team in the company? Are they joining a team of women who love community and thrive in doing local events together? What's the vision of your team? It's important to be sharing that if you want to be attracting business builders, because you want to give them a glimpse into what it's going to look like when they join you. Another thing I like to share is belief. What are the big things that you're believing for yourself in this season? When you share belief and your vision, you're allowing other people to also believe in themselves and also believe in the things. Next is abundance mindset. I talk about money and how I want nice things and how I want to live a luxurious life, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Money is good. We like money, right? Money gives us choices and gives us options and allows us to give back and bless other people. And so I like to celebrate that. I like to celebrate the fact that I'm turning my passion into profit, and through turning my passion into profit, I'm able to bless other people and help other people and have choices for my family. The next thing I like to post about to attract business builders is I talk about my ideal coach and customer. I talk about the woman that I'm serving and I call her out every single day. And when you can talk about your ideal customer and write posts about her, like just writing who you're looking for, and you do that frequently, people are going to start seeing themselves in that ideal coach that you're looking to join your team. And so I want to challenge you guys to start writing posts calling out the ideal coach that you want on your team. And lastly, the last thing I share is the woman that I'm becoming. What does your dream self look like? How is she living her life? And how does she feel? Because if you're sharing about the woman you're becoming and what your dream self looks like, again, you're giving permission for other women to start dreaming about their dream self, and other women to start thinking about, man, who's the person I want to become? Morgan knows who she wants to become. I wish I knew who I want to become. Maybe this beach body thing, this workout thing that she's posting about is going to allow me to start working towards becoming my dream self. Another important piece is knowing the person you're looking for. This one completely changed the game for my business. My business took a huge turn for the best once I got so specific about the woman that I wanted on my team. And so I want to ask you guys, do you know the avatar like the back of your hand? Because you should. So here's some questions that I want you to know about your avatar. And I want you guys to build out a persona of your avatar answering these exact questions. What is your avatar's ideal age? What is her relationship status and her family status? What is your ideal avatar's job? What's her salary? What's your ideal avatar's budget for starting a business? Is she pinching pennies to where starting a business might be hard for her? Or is she working a full-time job and her husband's also working full-time, so they kind of have some money to play around? These kind of questions might seem silly, but they're not silly, because this is going to help you write content. And when you're speaking directly to the woman that you're wanting to recruit, you're going to hit her so hard in the heart that every time you put a post out there, she's going to feel like you're speaking to her. So some other questions I want you to know about your avatar. What are her enemies? Is her enemies herself? Is it her negative self-doubt, self-talk? Is it the mirror? Is it the scale? Is it mean girls? Who are her enemies? Taking it a step further, who are her heroes? Are her children her heroes? Is her husband her hero? Are her girlfriends her hero? What are her goals in life? What does she like to do for fun? Where does your avatar like to hang out? What kind of music is your avatar like to listen to? What's her favorite TV show to watch? These questions, again, might also seem silly, but they're not, because think about team retreats. You want to be bringing people on your team retreat that you're envisioning one day And you want them to want to do the same things as you, right? Like you want them to enjoy the same music you enjoy. You want them to like doing the same things, right? Like I think you guys all come from Diesel Nation, right? Is that the team that y'all are on? Like think about those big retreats and how much fun you guys have together because you guys all like probably similar things. And that makes retreats just that much more fun, right? Like you don't want to bring someone on a future team retreat who's like, oh, I'm going to sit in the corner because I don't like this kind of music and I don't like to have this kind of fun that you guys are having. So like, peace out. This is not my kind of community. You don't want that. And so when you know these things about your avatar, you can start sharing things that's going to attract that person. Other questions to ask is, what does she secretly want out of her life? How does she want to be perceived? What obstacles does she face in her daily life? What brings her shame? What holds her back from saying yes to coaching? And how can you help her? These things are so important to know because this is a gold mine for writing all of your content. If you know the exact woman, that dream team woman that you want on your team, every time you go to put a post out there, every time you go to share a story, every time you create a reel, you have this one woman in mind. And guess what happens? You start finding 10s and 20s and 30s and hundreds of that woman. And before you know it, you've built your freaking dream team. You have your team of women that you look around the room and you're like, wow, I am freaking proud of this community that I've built. But first, you need to know what that team looks like and what that ideal avatar is and who she is. Next, I want you guys to start sharing your team wins for social proof. Social proof is important because people want to see that you're not the only one doing this, right? Like there are skeptical people out there and they want to see that there's other people having success and there's other people finding joy and there's other people rank advancing and other people making money. And so if you don't have a team yet, start celebrating your peers. There's a huge group of women doing this diamond dash together. Start shouting each other out. If you have an upline who celebrates rank advancements every Thursday, go and copy and paste those rank advancements onto your stories and shout your sisters out. Shout out other coaches on your upline's team who's killing it if you don't have a team to share about yet. And that's okay. It's okay if you don't have a team to share about, but when you share other women around you succeeding, that's going to help you find women to join your team. And so I want to challenge you guys to celebrate all the things. Celebrate the little things, make everything a big deal, and just freaking own it. Because people on the other side of the screen, they don't know what you're talking about. You could celebrate Emerald like it's the biggest freaking deal on the world, and people will have no idea that it's just for signing up 2 people. But that energy and that excitement, that's infectious and contagious, and people want to be a part of that. And so celebrate all the little things. Next is I send business invites. So this is what an initial invite for me. I invite straight to the coaching opportunity. This is what something would sound like. Hey, blank, I don't usually reach out to this, but I love following you. Insert genuine compliment about what you love following this person. I get so excited every time I see your story bubble light up, and I know I can't be the only one that feels this way. You'd be a natural at what I do as a coach. Have you ever thought about it? I think you would be amazing. I'm hosting a coaching info call this week, and I would love for you to hop on and listen in to see if this could be for you too. Now, I don't always copy and paste invites for coaching. I definitely like to voice message this. And then if we have a conversation that kind of dies out, or maybe I don't get a response, I will follow up and I'll say, hey, blank, in just 3 days, my coaching info group is kicking off. And I would love for you to be a part of it if you're interested. Absolutely. No strings attached. No pressure to join. Just would love for you to be a fly on the wall and see if maybe this could be for you. What do you think? So I'm sending just as many coaching invites as I am challenger invites. And so this is basically what my coaching invite looks like. And instead of copying and pasting it, I send a voice message. Next, I kind of hit this one already, but speak directly to who you're looking for. And here's the reason. It's because if you're trying to attract everybody, you're attracting no one. If you're casting a wide net so far out in your messaging, you're like, oh, but I want to attract this person and this feel excluded. If you're going through that in your head as you're writing captions, you need to stop, figure out your avatar, and speak just to that person, because casting out a wide net is one of the worst things you can do for your business. Niching down and knowing who you want is how you're going to grow this business in a positive and successful way. And you're going to be able to grow your dream team because you're able to be relatable. If you know your avatar like the back of your hand, you now get to relate to her and where she's at today. So I want to challenge you guys to be okay with excluding people. How many of you guys have been there where you're writing a post and you're like, oh, I can't say that because so-and-so follows me and she just would feel like excluded if I say that. I know that was my struggle when I was a new coach. I was like, oh, I don't want to call out moms in my posts, even though I know moms are really the women I want to help in my business, but I have all these college students following me and I don't want college students to feel like I'm not serving them because I'm calling out moms, even though moms are really who I want to reach. Like that way of thinking is a terrible way of thinking. And so if you struggle with that too, just know it's okay to exclude people. In fact, you should. You should be reaching just your avatar and the dream team woman that you want on your team. And my last tip is have a Reels strategy. Okay. Here's the thing about Instagram, you guys. Video is king. The CEO of Instagram came out not too long ago and stated that Instagram is no longer a photo sharing platform. Reels are the most important thing you can be doing for your growth in your business. This is how you're going to attract your people to your page. This is going to bring you new eyes. This is going to allow your audience to get to know you, and it's going to allow you to build trust. And so here is my real strategy and how I my strategy behind how I post reels. So I spend no more than 5 minutes a day scrolling through reels. And what I'm doing during this time is, as I'm finding reels that I relate to, or reels that I think are funny, or reels that I think will educate my niche audience, I'll click the 3 dots and press save so that I can hold onto the audio and one day in the future recreate that reel. Because here's the thing, you guys, reels are not original. Reels are like TikToks. And if you know anything about TikTok, it's all about trends. Trends meaning everybody doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, but with your own personality and your own spin on it. And so it is okay to recreate reels. In fact, all of the reels I put up, which I don't know if you've been to my page, it's Coach Morgan Butler. All the reels that I put up are recreated. Like I am not creating my own reels. I am seeing trends. I'm doing trends. I am recreating trends, and I'm putting my own personality and my own spin on it. So after I spend 5 minutes a day scrolling through reels, eventually over time, you'll build what I call your niche reels bank. So you'll essentially have like a reels bank of reels that you can now recreate that are all targeting your niche market. And so now that you have your reel bank created, it's now time to start creating. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take all the pieces of your brand, which in the business world, they say there's like 5 things that represent your brand. Okay. And I'll share mine to kind of help you guys start thinking, but you're going to assign a piece of that brand to a day of the week. And that's how you're going to create your reels schedule. So for me, I'll go through what my reel schedule is. And each of these things are a piece of my personal brand. And so yours are going to look different, but I want to challenge you to come up with your 5 to 7 pieces of your brand that represent you. So my first is that I'm a mom. That's the first part of my brand. So on Mondays, I'm probably posting about mom life, a reel. This is all reel specific. Tuesdays, another piece of my brand is all about self-love and self-care. So that's what my reel on Tuesdays is always about, is some kind of self-love, self-care. Wednesdays, I'm posting a reel about productivity because that is something I'm super passionate about, is helping women manage their time and be productive. Thursdays, I'm sharing about being a business mentor. Helping women build businesses is a huge part of my brand and something I'm very passionate about. Fridays, I am talking about like married life, date night, me and my husband building our dream life. Saturday, I'm posting something about representing how I'm fit-ish, meaning I don't love to work out, but I work out because I know it's what I need to feel good and feel productive. And Sundays, I'm posting about meal prep, so healthy cooking. So everything I listed out is the 7 pieces of my personal brand verticals. Now, your brand verticals might be different. Yours might be motherhood, healthy eating, interior design, farm life, and I don't know, marriage advice. Like, I don't know, whatever the five to 7 pieces of your brand, I want you to figure it out. And you're going to assign that piece of your brand to a day of the week. And then to take it a step further, we're going to batch create your reels ahead of time. So now that you have your 5 to 7 pieces of your brand, because I always recommend posting 5 to 7 reels a week if you really want to see the growth, you're going to select your 6 reels that you're going to recreate. Now, let me just give a backstory as to how I created this system. So I got in the habit of saving reels to where I had this huge collection in my saved folder of like probably 500 reels. And I actually felt myself getting into action paralysis because I was so overwhelmed by all the reels that I was saving. Like I thought I was doing myself like, I thought I was like helping myself out by like saving all these reels so that I had reels to go back to recreate. But I found myself doing the opposite because I actually was finding myself so overwhelmed by all the reels that I had. So then this is where I created the next step. I created an additional collection on Instagram, which I think you guys probably all know what like the collections are. When you save stuff, you can save it in different collection folders. I then created a different collection called Reels to Create This Week. And so once I have my Monday through Sunday written out, I actually write it on a Post-it note. I do it every Monday, so I actually have it right here. Once I have it written down, I then go to my Reels bank and I find reels that I have saved that represent each different little piece of my brand that I have written down. So I'll scroll through my Reels bank and I'll say, okay, I need to find a mom, like a reel that represents mom life. So I'll quickly scroll through, find one that represents mom life. I'll unsave it and then save it again. And I'll save it this time to my Reels to Create This Week folder. And I do that for every single piece of my brand. So then I'll move down the list and say, okay, I need to look for a self-love reel. So I'll go back to my Reels bank, find a reel about self-love. I'll then unsave it, resave it, and save it into the new folder of Reels to Create This Week. So that I do that for every single one. And then what happens is now I have 7 reels in a clean folder with just those 5 to 7 reels. And then I knock them out. I knock them all out in one sitting. So what I found in the beginning of my Reels journey was that it took me a while to do a reel when I was doing just one per day, because that's how I used to do it. I used to just like make one a day, but I found it was just taking me so much more time. What I found with batch creating my reels is that when I'm like in the flow, I can freaking knock them out. Okay. It probably will be the same for you. And so what I do is I create those 5 to 7 reels for the week in one sitting. So Mondays from about 10 to 11:30, that is the time that I have time blocked for myself to recreate all the reels that I'm going to post that week. And the reason I have this strategy of finding the reels that represent all pieces of my brand is because we want to be effective in sharing all parts of us that build our brand. Because when we share all those parts of your brand over and over and over and over and over and over again, you're going to find your people. You're going to start realizing like, oh my gosh, these are reaching my people. I'm not just reaching random people on social media. Because you do a good job at representing all the pieces of your brand, you're going to realize that you're going to start to find all your people. And so I knock them all out in one sitting. What I do is I find one basic bottom. I pick out like 2 to 3 different shirts. I'll grab a headband and a hat. And what I do is I just change up my outfit for each recording. So I'll like put my hair in a ponytail for one, I'll swap my shirt out for another, I'll put a hat on for another, just so it doesn't look like I created them all in one sitting, but really I did. And then what's the beautiful thing is then I have them all ready to post for the week. And I feel so much less overwhelmed and feel so excited that I just have a bunch now to click through, and I have my posting schedule and I have a strategy. So that is kind of like my strategy behind how I post reels. So I want to open the floor up for any questions just about like how I'm sharing on social media to attract business builders, my Reels strategy. I don't know if you guys are already doing this or if Reels have been overwhelming for you, but I have found that this has just helped me feel more confident in creating Reels because I know I'm creating Reels that are going to reach my people. And then it feels nice just knowing that I have all my content done for the whole week. So this strategy is definitely the way to go.
And one thing I want to just add in here is originally we had planned for this call just to be on Reels strategy. But after Morgan heard what type of group this was, she was like, I want to add in a second piece. And I watched the comment section and I saw, this is so helpful. Oh my gosh, I love this strategy. This is what I needed. And so what I want to challenge you guys to is don't sit on this information. Don't just be a sponge, right? Go out there and implement the things that you have that she's given you tonight. Because if not, it's just going to go to waste and it's just going to be another one of those calls that you jump on and you're inspired. And this is designed to help you take action. So I think there's a question in the chat. It says, Morgan, have you shared? Oh, never mind. It's not a question. It's just saying it's incredible. Who's got questions, guys? We have a little bit of time.
Yeah, what Kathleen just wrote in the comments is so true. Like when you hop on Instagram, you're not seeing pictures on your feed anymore. Like it is all reels. So if you're not on the reels game yet, you're behind and it's time to get on the reels. But don't just start posting reels. It's reels with strategy, with a plan to be attracting your avatar so that then you could be attracting her to your coaching team. So it's all, you know, for a purpose with the strategy behind building your brand and finding the woman that you are meant to be attracting. So do I post 7 reels a week? That is the goal. Does it always happen? No, but that is what I shoot for. So like today I created 6 reels. So I have 6 reels that I created today. And I'll post them throughout the week. And then I also have a couple saved in my drafts from like prior weeks that I could also use as well. And I saw someone say like that is great because you only have to do your makeup once a week. That's why I do this too. Because like I'm looking like a hot mess most of the week, which I do share that part of me too. But
Hey, Morgan, I have a question. So I struggle the most with my verbiage, like my message when I'm typing. Sometimes I know what I want to say, but then I feel like the post is way too long. People are not going to read it. And other times I feel like it's word vomit. And then I backspace everything and just put like 2 little lines and that's it. Do you have any tips on that?
yeah, so the cool thing about reels is you really don't have to have a caption. I mean, your message essentially is in the reel. And so like if you go on my page and scroll through my reels, you'll see like my captions are, you know, like one I posted tonight is a little bit longer because I did a call to action to my coaching info call. But a lot of my reels, I'll just put like a statement or 2 statements because Instagram is changing. So like the way that we've known Instagram, it's unfortunately just not that anymore. So the way I look at Instagram for growing my coaching business is Reels is how I'm bringing new eyes onto my page. Static photos are not going to be seen on people's feed, but I post static photos for those new eyes that come to my page who want to learn more about me and what I'm doing. And then stories is really the bread and butter of where I'm sharing my coaching business, where I'm sharing my challenge group stuff, where I'm sharing my personality. And I would say Reels is really how I'm like sealing the deal per se. So Reels, the purpose is really just to grow and bring new eyes. And I would say like how you share in your stories and how you talk about those things that I listed out of like, you know, sharing abundance mindset and sharing your life vision, team vision, all that stuff that you can be sharing in your stories to attract people to the business side of things.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah. So if any of you guys like stumble with the words, we're like writing captions, you should celebrate the fact that reels are now a thing. You don't have to do that. I know I feel personally way more comfortable just making a reel than putting all my emotions into a caption. That can be hard.
Hey Morgan, Emily here. I did meet you at Super Saturday a couple of years ago. I actually just moved to Connecticut, so missing North Carolina, but thank you for everything today. It was absolutely wonderful and super helpful. My question around Reels is, one, I know we can't see who views your Reels, right? So how are you really leveraging, I guess, your insights that way? Or is it just when they click follow, you're sending a follow-up message? Like, how are you really tapping into that?
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of growth since starting to post reels every day. And so what I do is I make sure that, like, when I sit down to knock out my power hour, one of the things I do is I do scroll through my notifications to see all my new followers. And so as I'm seeing who are my new followers, if I see women are following me that I feel like are my avatar, my niche market, I follow them back, and I will comment. Like if I see they have a story up, I'll comment on their story, or I'll comment on one of their pictures. I personally don't send like a thank you for following me message, just because I don't like receiving those. When I get those, I'm like, what are you trying to sell me? So I personally don't do like a thanks for following me, blah, 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 blah. I'd rather just like straight up start engaging with their content. So that's how I'm leveraging the growth and creating new relationships, is making sure I'm watching out for who my new followers are and making sure that I'm, starting that connection with those women that I feel like could be my people.
Thank you.
Morgan, how would you just, because I know some of my coaches are wondering this, how would you say or help someone that's trying to find their avatar? Like, are you saying exactly, okay, I'm going to list out all, sorry, I have 4 kids. It's a crazy town. You guys understand. But would you say that, do you look at it like, okay, I'm going to write down all of Morgan's qualities and who I am, and that's who I'm going to speak to? Is that how you kind of look at it? To find your avatar?
So I would say to find your avatar, you 1000% everyone should go back and answer all of those questions I had on that document. Because those questions are going to help you understand your avatar. But your avatar, yes, is essentially who you were pre-Beachbody. Like the woman I'm serving is the woman who found herself where I found myself, and I'm helping them change their life the way Beachbody changed my life. So yes, the easy way to think about it is like, your avatar is basically you and who you are. But to take it a step further, go back to all of those questions, because those questions actually come from an avatar training workshop that I host for a lot of teams as well. And those are some of the questions that we go through to build out your avatar. And knowing all of those things about your avatar is such a game changer for writing content, because when you know those things about your avatar, you get to go write content directly about those things. And so definitely go back and answer those questions. If you feel like, I don't know who my avatar is, answering those questions might help you kind of start formulating a persona for that dream team coach that you're searching for on your team. Someone said, are you posting your reels on your page as well? Yes, I always share to my feed, or to my feed. I always share to my feed. Do you have any tips for syncing up the words? So I would just say, don't rush through it. Like, you know how at the bottom, there's the bar where you slide like your words. Just don't rush, like slide it slowly to get it exactly where you want it to be. Because creating reels really isn't hard. It's just hard at first. Like once you get in the rhythm and routine of putting words on your reel and moving it all around, you'll start becoming faster at it. But that learning curve is going to feel a little bit uncomfortable at first. So I would say just keep practicing, and you'll get to a point where you feel pretty comfortable syncing up the words.
Morgan, with Instagram changing so quick and so often, do you still, is the having a link either like through Linktree or something like that, and having the highlights, is that aspect still very important?
Yes. I would definitely say so, because that's like, the link is important because you're giving people a place to go to, right? Like if someone's following you and they're like, oh man, I want to see what this girl's about, that link is there, giving them opportunities to request into your group and all of that stuff. For me, I have a link for a form to get into my challenge group. And I also have a form to apply to be on my coaching team. And then I also think I have like a my Amazon favorites with just like my favorite Amazon purchases. And then I also have a link within that link tree to go to the About Me section of my website. I used to have a link tree link, and then I just created one on my website. But for those of you guys who don't have a website, because you don't need a website, that's unnecessary. I have heard girls on my team are using one called Milkshake. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's basically like Linktree, but actually better, because you kind of create like almost like a mini website through the link that you're putting on your bio. So if you want a link on your bio, go do a Milkshake one, because they look really, really nice.
Morgan, quick question. So you were earlier talking about reels, how you post them on your feed. So when you, I haven't done many reels, but I do have, I've done some, sorry, my kiddo's singing. So you do the reel, doesn't it automatically go to your feed? Or
No,
because what I've done, I put it on my stories so people can see it on my stories.
So when you create a reel, there's going to be like a little button that says, do you want to share it to your feed? If you never turned it off, then it's probably automatically still on. So if you're asking like if yours are automatically sharing, I'm sure it probably is, unless you turn that function off.
Okay.
Does that answer your question? I don't know if I just answered.
No, it does, because I thought it automatically goes to your page, to your feed, everything. So if it doesn't, I'll go and check my stuff.
Yeah, you most likely have it going to your feed, unless at one point you turned it off, but it sounds like you didn't. Such good questions. I feel like I'm missing some in the chat. Let's see.
I tried to keep up with them too.
What day do I find the best time to post a reel? I don't have an exact time necessarily. I feel like for my avatar is a mom with toddlers and babies who are probably putting their kids to bed around like 7:30. So I always post a reel around like 8:30, because I feel like that's when my avatar is like winding down, maybe sitting on the couch with a glass of wine, scrolling through reels, watching TV with her husband. So I'm posting a reel at around that time at night. And then I also double post. That's another cool thing about reels, is I feel like it gives us the opportunity to double post sometimes. And sometimes I'll maybe like do like an IG live in the morning or something like that. But I don't know. I don't think there's like a perfect time as far as like engagement goes. But I have heard that posting at a consistent time is sometimes best, just because people kind of get in the rhythm of seeing it at a certain time, and then you can keep showing up for those people. Having the reel strategy really has been a game changer for me. So I hope you guys do try this at least. Maybe it won't work for you, and that's okay, but at least give it a try, because, you know, creating reels can just kind of feel like you're spinning your wheels, right? Like of overwhelm, because there's just so much to it. But when you can really break it down to that plan of action of like, here I am touching at every piece of my brand throughout the week. I'm selecting reels that, you know, I'm relating to, that my avatar is going to relate to. It really does kind of peel away at that overwhelm and that anxiety that maybe you're feeling around reels, because it is so new. But it doesn't have to be that way. Just when you go into it with a plan, you might feel like it's a little bit of a smoother process for you.
So very good. I saw everyone just taking notes and sharing things. One thing I'd love to see is if you could send me the slides for the avatar, we can post it in there. And even if you've been a coach for a little while, guys, maybe it's time to go back and check out and see, has your avatar changed, right? Because I've been a coach for 8 years next month, which seems insane. And I know my avatar definitely has changed over the course of these years and the growth and the development. So that's a challenge that I have for all of you guys this week, but also really just going back and reviewing the notes that you took. This might be one of those calls where you have to listen to the replay again and like pause and then, okay, here's my action for the week. But I think if you take what Morgan shared tonight and you put it into action, you're going to see growth in one way or another, and it's going to stretch you outside your comfort zone, right? So thank you so much for this call tonight. We're so grateful for you. And if you guys have any additional questions, you can post them in the group and I'll try to shoot them over to Morgan. But that's it, guys. Super proud of you. Headed into, well, we're fully in week 2 of this push. Just remember, you made the decision, you made the investment to get into this group, you met the qualifications. Now it's time to level up and disrupt your behaviors and take massive action so that come mid-month next month, we're celebrating the heck out of you. But don't wait till then either. Like, go diamond now. All right, guys, have an amazing evening.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.